Gemini Manager makes it easy to deploy a Cloudera HDFS cluster directly from the Gemini appliance. This can be useful for many reasons, including archiving data from Splunk to a cheaper Hadoop repository, or performing unified analytics across Splunk and Hadoop using Splunk Analytics. Before you start, you will need to have provisioned multiple Gemini appliances, hardware or virtual, that will serve as your Cloudera hosts. You can use the bulk provisioning wizard, which makes it extremely easy. In this case, we'll use virtual appliances configured on AWS. Notice the group of instances named Simon SPL Cluster 1 through 10. We will be using the first 6 of them for our Cloudera cluster. You're going to want to note the public domain name associated with each instance and copy it to a clipboard so you can use it in the next step. Also, make sure that all the instances are in the running state. Next, log into any Gemini appliance that you will use to configure the Cloudera cluster. Within the Integration Center screen, locate the Cloudera card and select Configure to get started. Now that we are on the Cloudera deployment screen, specify the fully qualified domain name, or FQDN, of the host that will serve as the Cloudera master from the list of hosts that you have provisioned. After adding the master, click on Add Agent to add the remaining nodes as agents, copying each domain name from the list that we saved earlier. A red icon indicates a bad lookup on the domain name, usually just a typo. You can go back and fix this at any point. After all hosts are added, click on Deploy to start the installation process on each host. This should only take a few minutes. Once the deployment is successful, click on Launch Cloudera Manager to access the Cloudera Manager on the master node. This allows you to complete the Cloudera configuration process. Go ahead and log in, accept the terms and conditions, and proceed to the license selection page. If you have acquired a license for Cloudera Enterprise, select that option. Otherwise, you can still proceed with the Enterprise trial or the free Cloudera Express edition. Next, click on the Currently Managed Hosts tab to locate the hosts you just installed. Select them all to create a cluster with them and hit Continue. We'll go ahead and accept the defaults on the next screen and start the cluster installation. This may take a few more minutes. Once our installation is complete, we can select the components of the Cloudera Hadoop we would like to install. For most Splunk use cases, we will need at least HDFS and Yarn. Note that you can always install other components using Cloudera Manager later. Only a few more steps in the Cloudera installation wizard, and before you know it, you're done. Once you've completed, you can always access your Cloudera cluster from within Gemini Manager under the Hadoop section and by clicking on Launch Cloudera Manager. And that's it. Be sure to look out for other videos to see how you can use your newly configured Cloudera cluster with Splunk and Gemini Enterprise.